What's up, bodybuilding.com? It's Kris Gethin here again. Welcome to my kitchen. So what I'm cooking for you now today is spaghetti bolognese. I've just cooked the spaghetti here. Reason being, I've only got 2 hot plates. So I can actually do the vegetables. So here I've got the minced beef, and here I've got the tomatoes and mushrooms that are being cooked right now. So what I'm going to add to this beef, I started cooking it, and it was cooking a little too quick, so I stopped it. I'll put it back on again. I'm going to add some taco seasoning spice mix to this to give it a bit of a kick. There's some nice flavour to that. When we cook this, it's an extra lean beef, and I don't bother adding any fat, any olive oil to that, just to keep it as lean as possible. Just, obviously use a non-stick pan to stop it from sticking, and you won't need to add any fat to that. And then, once we've mixed this powder in a little bit, I like to add a tomato-based, like basil sort of sauce here. So tomato and basil here. When you go for a tomato and basil, it's generally low sugar, low fat, so you can add a little bit of that in and make sure the beef isn't so dry. And just keep mixing the mushrooms and tomatoes that we got here as well. I've got a little bit of garlic in here too, again for a little bit more flavour. The pasta that I'm using, or the spaghetti, is wholemeal, so we've got a low GI flow of carbohydrates going into the system. I like using this as like a good sort of like pre-workout meal about an hour and a half before I work out. I like to get my red meats in through here. Alright, so that's mixed in now. We'll add the tomato and basil in there. You're probably picking a lot of flaws through my cooking here. I'm no Gordon Ramsay by any means. I'm not too creative in the kitchen. I eat pretty bland, but this is one of my favourites. So once we mix that in, you can add a little bit more in there, just so it isn't dry. Then we're going to add in pretty much everything, the tomatoes, the mushrooms, and obviously put the spaghetti on the plate and add to that. And if you've got some low-fat cheese that you want to sprinkle on as well, by all means you can put that in as well. This isn't something that I would generally eat on a transformation, but the rest of the time it's absolutely fine. It's a good healthy option to have at home, as opposed to the one that you'd have out that'd be covered in olive oil. So with the amount that I've got here, I added a couple of 100 grams of beef, so that gives me anywhere around 60-70 grams of protein in there. And you can add as many tomatoes or mushrooms and vegetables as you want. And I've got like 2 cups of spaghetti there. So again, depending on what part of your diet that you're on, if you're on a low-fat diet, or you're trying to pull back your carbohydrates or increase, depending if you want to put on weight, low weight, you can add. Or sometimes if I'm dieting down and it's a late night meal, instead of having the spaghetti, I'll just add lettuce, and I'll just put everything in a lettuce wrap and just eat it kind of like a taco. But instead of having a taco, obviously a lettuce wrap, so I'm not having any carbs at night. You can do that as well. So this is pretty much done here. So I'm going to throw the spaghetti on here. Spread that to the outside of the plate. And then, this is a small pan that I've got here. I'm just going to add the veggies in. And I'll just let that cook just for a few minutes, and just let the sauce from the beef and the taco seasoning just mix in with the veggies. If you want to add a little bit more garlic or certain lemon or more basil or whatever, you just do that to your taste. This in total should take about 10 or 15 minutes. Took me a little bit longer because I have a primitive looking cooker here that's only got a couple of hot plates. So it probably took me about 20-25 minutes, which is a little bit longer than I want to spend in the kitchen, to be honest with you. Okay, I think that's pretty much done there. So as you can see, there's a lot of food there. But you know, if you have this a good couple of hours before your workout, it'll fuel you up. Depending on how fast you digest it, you know, is all dependent on how much you add to your food. Like I digest pretty quick, so I'll add plenty of it. But you know, you just add or take away as little or as much as you want. So let me just throw about half on here, so you can see what it looks like. Whoops, it's quite a small plate. Voila, there you go, your lean spaghetti bolognese.